The tables might finally be turning on the Biden family, though, now, as special counsel David Weiss is looking to indict Hunter Biden on charges by the end of the month. But will the Biden protection racket continue, or is justice going to be served? Well, I know what I think. Let's bring in comedian and commentator and Renaissance man Alex Stein to talk about this and so much else. Alex, great to have you with us here today by your warm, cozy fire. I got to ask you, though, there's all these reports here that they're going to say, oh, you know, Hunter Biden has been indicted. Well, this seems to me like it's a bit of a fraud, given that it's coming from David Weiss, the same guy who tried to protect the Biden crime family every step of the way. But Alex Stein, tell me, am I just being cynical here?
No, I think you're spot on. I think it's pretty obvious that Kamala is going to be the president before 2024 because they can only find so much cocaine in the White House and continue to cover for Joe Biden. So Hunter Biden will be the fall guy, whether it's one of these bogus gun charges or it's going to be something more serious like the illegal business deals he did with Ukraine or China. So I believe personally that Joe Biden will not finish his campaign or his presidency and will not run in 2024. 100% zero chance of him running, in my opinion.
Rita.
Well, there was polling, even by CNN this week, showing that a great many Americans, I think it was a majority, think that the president was involved with his son's business dealings when he was vice president, and what he has claimed throughout the years is an absolute lie. How is this story coming along in the US? Because we've seen the New York Post reported, we see Fox News reported, but so many other media outlets have gone out of their way to minimise it or ignore it, and yet the message is getting through to the American public.
Well, the sad reality is that probably most Americans are struggling to even pay their bills, and they don't even know who Hunter Biden is. I mean, and most people probably do. I'm just saying they're just not dialed into politics. They don't even understand that when he was vice president, he was selling out his vice presidency to foreign countries. And then now they don't even realize what Joe Biden's doing with his son, Hunter Biden. Most people still probably think the laptop is Russian disinformation. So, you know, I think Mark Twain said it best, no amount of evidence can convince an idiot. So the sad reality is once people kind of wake up that, you know, most governments are corrupt and that our government is corrupt, they're still probably just going to believe whatever the mainstream media tells them. So that's why I'm so thankful for you guys calling a spade and kind of, you know, calling out a lot of the lies that the mainstream media constantly covers for.
Well, Alex, just before I bring in James McPherson, I want to ask you then, if the Republicans were going to come to you as a campaign strategist, along with telling them to actually be funny, which they have a lot of trouble with, what would you tell them to do in terms of where they focus? I mean, do they, you know, just let the Hunter stuff go and really focus on the cost of living and all the real pain that people are going through and the way the economy is being remade to work against the middle class and the working class?
Well, the problem is the right wing, they want to go to Ukraine and sell as many military weapons to them as possible. So we basically have a uniparty. So the idea that the right side is going to actually do something, they're going to just spend a lot of that money probably on military spending. So we need to reallocate a lot of the funds and taxes that America raises and actually helps our citizens instead of fighting wars in Ukraine and just letting illegal immigrants come in and take the same resources that would be allocated for veterans, people that actually fought in our war, the people that we're supposed to give the most respect to, that we just give to illegal immigrants. So we have a complete cluster, excuse my French, I can't say it on this program, but I'm just saying we have a lot of issues here in America that aren't going to be fixed by either side until, I don't know, we got to break the whole system down. We need it to restart, press reset somewhere, in my opinion.
Well, from cluster bombs to cluster gosh knows what. James McPherson.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a reset, Alex, but Nancy Pelosi, who's I think is 83 years old, has said she's going to run again. You said Biden won't run again, but she will. Do US politicians never retire?
Well, and then Mitch McConnell, I mean, he's up there freezing like he has a computer virus. I mean, Dianne Feinstein, they're whispering in her ear how to vote. No, sadly, I mean, I'm all for elders to live as long as possible, but at some point they need to retire, go to the golf course, go to the beach. They don't need to be in Washington, D.C. selling out the American people.
Alex, earlier in the show, I spoke about reality check for a lot of Democrats. We had Mayor Eric Adams in New York City just almost having a meltdown about his city being destroyed, using his words, with illegal immigrants coming in. We've had protests in places like Chicago. These are Democrat heartland cities. Tell me about this illegal immigration crisis, because again, it's something that's underreported in the media, but the numbers are astonishing. In 2022, the Biden administration set a record for illegal crossings by more than 1 million. I mean, you're seeing numbers like you've never seen before coming across that southern border.
Well, I'm in Texas, so I'm in Dallas. I'm affected with it every day. I constantly see people walking around. They don't really even know where to go. They're kind of, confused on what to do. And sadly, that breeds a lot of sex trafficking and drug trafficking. And in reality, this is probably my hot take. I'm a little empathetic to Mayor Eric Adams in New York City, because personally, I agree with him. Those buses they're going in the wrong direction. They don't need to head north. They need to head back south, in my personal opinion. And then on top of this, now he's talking about how people are using this as an immigration loophole, people from Northern Africa, people from all over, not just people from affected countries. And the problem is, for me, it makes me mad. One of my favorite shows is called 90 Day Fiancé, and it's a hit show where people have to come and marry some ugly guy for 90 days. Whatever happened to that? Those are the people that really want to be Americans, if they're willing to do that. So we're going to have less good characters on that show. So that's why I'm really frustrated as well.
Alex, is that where you met Dontarius?
Yes, I did. Dontarius, my wife's boyfriend. We met him. He was actually trying to get citizenship, and unfortunately, he's going to get out of jail soon, and I think he's going to get deported. No, but on a serious note, though, I'm pro-immigration. I think all Americans are pro-immigration, but it's just sad that there's loopholes that people that graduated from universities here that get deported. People that aren't married in time get deported, yet somebody can be a career criminal, and their country doesn't want them, and they come to America and get a free bus ride to New York City in a hotel in Times Square. What incentive do they have not to come to America?
But Alex, I mean, doesn't this great, amazing thing where the left is just getting mugged by reality here? Eric Adams getting up and saying this is going to destroy New York City. I was in New York City a few months ago, and he's kind of right, I'm afraid. But New York's going to go, and they're going to go to the polls next November, and they're going to return ballots for the Democrats. At some point, we were saying in this country, elections have consequences, but it seems like, bad policies have no consequences anymore in the U.S. This is why we're in such bad shape.
Well, yeah, and Eric Adams is going to rely on, federal government money to try to fix New York's problems. But America goes the way of New York City. After 9/11, America rallied around New York City. It became the #1 tourist destination in the world. And it was a classic American city. It had great energy. It felt safe. Rudy Giuliani at the time was the mayor. It was a great place to be. And sadly, now New York has spawned into a very dangerous place because of bail reform, where criminals know that they'll get released without any repercussions and right back on the street. So they have a litany of problems. It's not just the immigrants. That's a big problem, of course. But you said it. The Democrats are going to keep voting for this dysfunction. And like I said earlier, no amount of evidence can convince an idiot. And these people are not going to get it until it's too late, unfortunately.
Alex Stein, thank you so much for ending on that very grim note on a Sunday morning. We'll speak to you soon. And check out Alex's stuff, Primetime 99. He's great.